Hey, welcome back to my Astromech. This time we're going to finish the leg struts and get them mounted. I modeled these in Fusion 360 and I designed them to have a center key that they can be assembled onto as a cheat to keep everything aligned and add a bit of strength. Okay, I've got all the parts laid out here that I'm going to be using to assemble the leg struts. They're a combination of 3D printed parts and EMT, which is almost exactly the right size for the bottom section of the strut. I designed the strut to be printed out in multiple pieces just to make it easier for printing and for cleanup. I decided to print them in PLA and they're going to be assembled using CA glue and a 2-part epoxy. These prints are just off the printer and I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup to them before I put them together and do the final finish. Once the main pieces are assembled, I start my usual primer routine. The first step is a heavy coat of filler primer, and I follow that with a finishing primer in a different color. I'll add a plug to the bottom of the EMT, which will allow me to chuck the assembly into my lathe to speed up the sanding. Just for the record, there is a proper place for my lathe that's not on the floor, but I've recently made a bit of a habit of using it where it sits. You may notice that I'm also strictly following proper safety procedures regarding long hair and PPE. I wet sand everything down to 600 grit, which is more than smooth enough for this kind of thing. The blocks and buttons are added with a 30-minute epoxy, which finishes off the assembly. Before starting the paint job, everything gets hit quickly with some ultrafine steel wool. Then I add a small extension to give me a handle for painting. The paint finish begins with a nice glossy black. After that is dried, I start to airbrush an aluminum paint. I go pretty light with it and I try to keep the black tones coming through. For now, the struts are kept in place by a friction fit with the booster covers. They will be secured more permanently when the legs are finished. And that's it for now. Next time I hope to have the horseshoe details finished so that I can move on to electronics and the drive system. If you like this stuff, please let me know in the comments and smash that subscribe button to show your interest. Okay, I'll see you next time.